Well, hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, we're going to crochet a koala. Well, your ears are not playing tricks on you. I said crochet a koala. And it's funny because I mentioned it to my mother that I was going to crochet this koala, and she laughed at me. And then she realized I was serious. So she said, "You're going to practice, right? Before you bring it to the show." And I said, "No, I'm just jumping in the deep end of the pool." Guys, I have never crocheted. I have no clue even how it's done. I have no concept. But I bought this beginner kit, which comes with everything that you need, from the yarn to the crochet hook, needles, stitch holders or markers or something like that. It comes with instructions. And I want to give it a try. I've never tried it. This is either going to be an epic success or it's going to be an epic failure. I'm not sure which. But I'm going to take you along for the ride. Guys, this is not a tutorial. Let me get that perfectly straight. I have zero knowledge of crocheting, so I have zero knowledge to give you. This is not a tutorial. This is just for the fun of it. And fail or succeed, we're going to go and see how we end up at the end and how the project looks. Hopefully I'll be able to pull this off. And if not, well, you know what? At least I tried. So let's get into this and see how we make out. So this is the kit, and we're just going to open this up here. I'll show you what's inside of it. It doesn't really mean much to me because I don't know what any of it is. But this here, this looks like, what is this? Okay, this is the pattern for how to make it. Wow, I don't even know what that means. CHSCINC. All right, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. And then we've got this. Oh, this is a manual, maybe? Yeah, so this is like an instruction manual for beginners, showing you some of the steps and some of the stitches I'm assuming that you'll need for their kits. Oh, good gosh, I hope I don't need all of these for this one. I've never done. Okay, so you have this manual. And apparently you can scan this QR code for videos. I think that is going to be helpful to me. So what do we have here? Here we have the yarn for making the koala, it looks like. Kind of a grayish blue, pink, black, white, and green. Here we have, a keychain hook. So you can turn this into a keychain. I haven't got a clue what that little thing there is. Not a clue. Those might be the backings for the eyes. Yeah, I think those are the backings for the eyes. We have a crochet hook. Is there a size on this? Anywhere? Yeah, 4mm. 4mm crochet hook. A large sewing needle. Some stitch markers. And a very tightly vacuum sealed bag of stuffing, I guess, to fill out the bear once I finish it. All right, so I don't know how much talking there's going to be in this, guys. We're just going to take this for the fun of it. Take it for what it is. Laugh at me or, enjoy my success. But I don't know. Let's see how this goes. Well, this whole thing starts off kind of with me going more in depth into the different pieces that are in the kit and trying to understand how each one of the pieces that's in there relates to the final project. How to use the crochet hook, how to hold it, what kind of yarn or cotton is in there for me to use, the stitch holders, how they relate to the whole project. And I start going through the manual and reading how to do the stitches. But more importantly, at first, it's quite confusing because there's a lot of abbreviations. And it doesn't take me long to realize that I am really out of my element here. This is not something that I normally would undertake. But either way, I'm going to give this a go. And I start going through all of the abbreviations and what they mean, and I realize I'm trying to take on too much. I'm trying to memorize or know all of the abbreviations when all I really need to do is pick out the abbreviations that I need at the moment. So going through the manual and reading how to do the different stitches, the chain stitches, the single crochets, the single crochet increase, the single crochet decrease, the double crochet, the magic ring, etc., etc. It all becomes overwhelming. It all becomes confusing. One of the reasons I started this channel, guys, was to help out people like myself. And I am very much a visual learner. I can learn from books and from reading, but it takes me longer to do it. Show me how to do it, and I get it pretty much instantly. And that's where the QR code in the manual comes in handy. Scan that little code, and it takes you to YouTube and provides you with short, kind of like 5-minute long videos of how to do each one of the steps. And each one of the steps starts you from the most basic of basic and then builds on that with the next video, and then builds on the next video with the 2 previous things you've learned. And as you go along, you eventually get it. And at some point in time, I started to figure this out. Now, it didn't come quickly. I sat there for over 3 hours just trying to figure out the stitches. And my biggest problem was not understanding how to do them. My biggest problem was the tension on the wool with my hands. Too loose, too tight. If it was too tight, I couldn't get the hook in. If it was too loose, things were falling apart. It's a little harder than what it looks. I've seen my mother crochet when I was a kid for years, like just crazy stuff. But this is not as easy as she makes it look. And don't get me wrong, she offered her help. And no, I'll do this on my own. And, she kind of chuckled and said, well, if you need your help or you need any help, let me know. But either way, I puzzled through and I got through it. And I don't know. Now I think it's time to get into the project now that I've got the basic idea of what's happening. Well, I think it was the next day I started in on this project, actually making the body of the koala. And the beginning steps were going rather well, but at one point in time I realized I wasn't quite understanding what the pattern was telling me to do. And this is the point in time where a second set of eyes can help. So I called my wife in to see what she thought of it, and she has zero knowledge of crochet either. So she saw it a little differently than I did, and by her giving me a little bit of a push in the right direction with what she thought, I was able to figure out what to do. So essentially what it was is that I couldn't wrap my head around the thought that it was telling me to do one certain type of stitch and then another type of stitch and then to repeat it multiple times to end up with a final amount of stitches. And I know that sounds confusing the way I say it, and at the time it was very confusing, and I couldn't really grasp it. But once I figured it out with my wife's kind of nudge, it was kind of easy the way it went along, and the body of the koala came together rather quickly. Now, I have to say honestly that I'm surprised at how much stuffing was packed into the little vacuum sealed package that it came with in this kit. But it fully stuffed the koala and made him nice and plump and firm and that sort of thing. I moved on to the belly and the ears and all of that. And guys, at some point in time, you end up getting stuck because you really don't know what's happening. But the QR code that's in the manual, by scanning that, it brings you to YouTube videos that both teaches you the basics of the stitch through that visual learning I was talking about earlier, and as well, they make the entire koala on YouTube videos showing you the steps, so you can skim through and pick up on the parts that you're stuck on and get that extra little push you need to say, that's how it's done. I get it now. I get it now. So this whole bear came together. And as I've said on the show 1,000,001 times, if you're not happy with something, whether it be woodworking or crochet in this case, if you're not happy with, say, a certain piece of a project, remake it. Redo it. Do it until you're happy with it. And that was the case for me with both the white belly plate and the 2 arms. I wasn't happy with either one of my original crochets of these 3 items, so I remade them. Now I almost ran out of wool for the white. It wasn't really enough wool there to make 2, but I made it work. The biggest problem that I found is that I was putting too much tension on the wool, which was making a much tighter knit. And I really wanted a more of a loose knit to be able to fit and be pliable and be able to work with it a little more. So that's, if you're going to try this, that's something to keep in mind. That was one of the hardest things that I had to overcome, was the controlling of the yarn and getting the tension and being able to maneuver that yarn where I wasn't fighting against myself, you know, trying to hold the tension with my left while trying to loosen it with the hook with my right. It's kind of one of those fine balances that only comes with practice. So all in all, this project finally came together and I started sewing all the pieces on. And I gotta tell you, that's another venture in itself, because I don't know how to sew. So it was kind of one of those things where, am I doing this right? Does it look okay? And it worked out in the end. I just took my time and was able to work through it bit by bit. And again, those videos, that visual learning aspect really helped me out. And in the end, I don't know, I think I ended up with a pretty darn cute koala. And I like it, but you know what? You can be the judge. What do you think? Guys, this is a really cool little project, and you really should give this one a try. And there you have it. Crocheting a koala. Guys, this could not be further from the subject matter that is normally covered on my channel. But I'm going to say, I had a few people that kind of razzed me about this and said, you got to be kidding me. You are going to crochet. Yeah, me. Why not? Guys, there is absolutely nothing wrong, no matter what it is, there is absolutely nothing wrong with expanding your skill set. It doesn't have to all be manly stuff like woodworking or welding or the kind of stuff I normally do here on the show. It doesn't have to be that sort of thing. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with sitting down, doing a little crochet and making this cute little koala, for example. Guys, this is a skill set that can morph into something more. What can you crochet? It's not all about doilies and things to throw on your coffee table. What about hats, mittens, gloves, scarves, sweaters, blankets, throws? You name it, you can crochet it. And it all has to start somewhere, and it starts off with the basic stitches, the single crochet increase, the chain stitches, the single crochet decrease, etc., etc. All of that stuff combines as the stepping stones to learn the process to increase your crocheting to the next level. I'm sure that there are some of you out there that are watching the show today that remember when you first started learning how to crochet. I'm sure that some of you out there know how to do it, and I'm sure that there's a lot of you out there that love to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that. So if you're looking at this video and thinking, God, that's a little weird, man, on a woodworking channel to have something like this, it's not about the crochet. It's not about the koala. It's not about knitting or sewing or crochet or anything like that. It's about putting all of the norms aside, putting aside all of the criticisms, putting aside all of it and learning a new skill set. No matter how old you are, there's always a way that you can take it to the next level and learn something new. I'm in my mid-50s and this is the first time I've ever touched crochet. And maybe part of the thing that held me back over the years was maybe people would make fun of me. Maybe people would tease me. Maybe someone wouldn't think it was cool. Who cares? Do you like it? I hope so, because I think this is pretty awesome. I'm pretty proud of this. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in this week. I know it's very different from our normal show that I put out during the week, but you know what? That's what the Tuesday episode of the program is all about. It's all about taking something outside of our normal woodworking show program style and trying something different, trying something new, switching it up. We've done everything from cooking to welding to reviews, and now we've done crochet on the show. I mean, how can you go wrong? Guys, if you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. You click that bell and then you're not going to miss the notifications of future episodes of the program. And who knows, maybe more crochet projects. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's content. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope you're going to give this a try for yourself and expand your skill set and branch out into something that you normally wouldn't try. I hope this video has inspired you to try something new. And more importantly, guys, I hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesdays.